Roshan, how are you?
We're looking at just about 10 minutes past 7 on this year, Independence Eve, Thursday the 30th of August, 2018. On the set with me, it's Dr. Raj. Sexplosion starts now.
Pleasant good evening.
Good evening to you.
Pleasant good evening to all the listeners and viewers. I don't know if you're getting us on the app, but we're having a little bit of problem in the studio right now with, so we'll find out if we're live. But happy Independence Eve to everyone. Happy Independence tomorrow, in case I forget later on. I want to wish every one of you a happy Independence. 56 years have gone. How do you feel? How do you feel as a Trinidadian? Forget the politics aside. As a Trinidadian,
I love my country.
I love my country.
Yeah.
I love
my people too.
Oh yeah, I can safely say that. I may not like how things are going, but I love my country,
Yes,
and I think we
same
should.
page,
I think we should all bear that in mind, regardless of how you look, regardless of your race, color, creed, or class, religion.
Exactly.
Trinidad comes first. And I dislike when I hear people about talking Trinidad. You wouldn't believe
Me too.
my blood boils when I hear that.
Can't take that.
I can't take it. And I tell those who live outside of Trinidad, if you're not living here, you have no say here.
That's right.
I make that very, very clear. It may sound crude, it may sound crass, but I mean it from the bottom of my heart. You don't belong here to make a comment about here.
Exactly.
If people say, well, it's my homeland and whatnot, but you left it a long time. What you
That's right.
contributing to
They're not
Trinidad?
even attempting to come back.
Yeah. So what you contributing? You're not paying tax, you're not seeing about anything, so let us live in our misery.
Yes.
And leave
Listen
us
to what's
alone.
happening. Yeah.
Yes. Anyway, we're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about sex. But sex education is very important because a lot of things about sex persons don't know. We have changed from a society of loving people and using things to using people and loving things. The
Yes,
average
the fullest
individuals,
process. Yes.
the average individual out there would love their iPhone or their Samsung.
They meet on the iPhone and on the
They love the devices. They love to be on the phone chatting. They love their car. It have men out there who will kill you if you scratch their car.
I know.
And you wonder, why would someone explode like that for something that could be repaired? But our life cannot be given back.
Yeah, something that has no feeling at all.
Yeah. And when you think about it, our human feelings have changed from loving humanity and loving people to loving things that could be destroyed or things that will be redundant or have no value in years to come. You buy let's use a car as a good example. You buy a car today, you buy it for $100,000, although there are no cars for $100,000. You drive out the showroom, that car immediately loses value.
The moment I leave the showroom.
The minute you sit behind that wheel and you bounce that starter, the value goes down, it doesn't go up,
No.
And yet still you will end up in an argument with a man for scratching your car or leaning on your car or something like that. You simply say, Brett, still my car. That's all.
Simple.
And I have encountered that many times, and I just shrug and say, come on, use your head now, man. You wouldn't like somebody to do that to yours. And you just leave it so. But there are those who will get into argument about those things. The material things are more important to us than the personal things. The persons you are supposed to love, your parents, your colleagues, your friends. And of course it's different levels of love and different amount of emotion that goes into it. But there should be love that is flowing. Love is a universal language and religion, And if we start thinking about that, now of course love leads to sex also. And from that perspective, I understand the importance of it. And I always say any two fools could have sex. Any two fools could have sex. And I use the word fools, not meaning to put down anyone, but, when they call somebody a fool. Foolish person. Any two persons, you don't have to have any degree, you don't have to have any subjects. when it comes to sex, because it's natural for human beings to have sex. It's a natural thing to do. But the love that goes with it, the feeling that goes with it. I am seeing patterns with young ladies in our society making children when they can't even take care of themselves. And in this day and age, and I'll tell you something, the cost that it costs our parents to have us, and the cost that it costs us to have our children, it's 10 times that now to have a child. Because if you take inflation into account, when you take inflation, I remember the good old days when you buy a pack of nuts, you know, the red skin nut that the Rasta man used to sell on the side of the road. Yeah. They used to have a whistle on the thing. Yeah. For 50 cents. That same pack of nuts today is $5. That's what does that tell you?
Plus
yeah. Look at what has happened. From 50 cents to $5. So this is what is happening to society. When you watch a young lady who is pregnant and she don't have the support of family, and she has to mind that child, think about what she has to go through financially to do that. It's not a cheap proposition to have a child. That's why those who plan to have children only have 2, maximum 3. It's either 1, 2, or 3. Those who plan to have children, they don't go beyond that. Now, long ago, in the past, a mother and father could have 10 children.
Yeah, enough people have a lot of children.
And they will take care of those 10 children because there were ways to do it. Because we were more agrarian society. Yeah. It wasn't a dog-eat-dog world. It wasn't all about who have the best job and who working where and who doing what. It was about taking care of your family, the household, and those things. But with education, technology, and whatnot, we have gone beyond that. And there's nothing wrong with that because we need to progress. As a people, as a nation, as everything else, we need to progress. But in progressing, what are you doing? What are you doing? And that's true. With $5, you're getting less grains of nuts in the pack. Yeah. You get half the amount now than we used to get in the 70s when I buy a pack of nuts. Because I'm a nut eater. I eat nuts all the time. And I could tell you that's a fact. And I always use that to judge inflation. It's an incredible thing. I have always used buying a pack of nuts in that brown bag to judge inflation in our country and what is happening to our country. From 50 cents for a full bag of nuts to $5 for a half bag of nuts. And long ago they'll put a toothpick in it. You're getting that now. So you see how things have changed? So that's a good indicator of what's happening to society financially. So what would have cost you $500 long ago is now $5,000.
So true.
And it's the very same thing, and it multiplies with everything that you're doing. So if a tin of milk would have cost $5 before, think about what it's going to cost you now. And this is what is happening in society. So all these young ladies who are perpetuating this idea that sex is love and love is having a child for the man, that fallacy has to go out your head, you know. Because I have seen patterns where a grandmother did that very same thing and had a child. And because of society then, she could not live with her parents anymore. She was thrown out. Her daughter did the very same thing. And now her daughter is doing the very same thing. And you wonder, where are these people brain? When you hear this story from your grandmother, didn't that teach you something? Did that tell you, hey, this is not the way to go? When you know the reality of what has happened to your mother with you, don't you think that I should have enough sense not to repeat that cycle? And here I am, supposedly in love, pregnant for someone, bringing a child into the world, and I don't know where my next meal coming from. What are we doing as people? That's why I tell you, 56 years have gone, how do you feel? How do you feel about yourself? There are lots of us who are not patriotic. And patriotism is not just saying, I love Trinidad and Tobago. Patriotism is about you not throwing something out of your car, teaching your children the right values, respecting the flag, doing simple little things that show that you are patriotic to your country. One thing I hate to see, and I saw somebody posted a picture of a cricket match in Barbados, a Trinidadian, and the Trinidad flag was touching the ground. You wouldn't believe how my blood boiled. I didn't make a comment, but I wonder if that person understands what that means, to drag your flag on the ground. That's an insult to your country. And yet still people do that. But the young men and women in our society don't care about these things. They don't look at these things as though it is important. They consider the material things in life to be more important than the relationship, than the things that you're supposed to propagate to make you a better person. And what are we doing as a society? How far are we going with it? Is it true love that you're dealing with, or infatuation? What exactly is happening to individuals when they start thinking along these lines? We put sex before love, and not understanding that sex with love is much stronger than just sex. And people would ask me, they say, well, you are a sex educator, you have a clinic, you deal with people with sexual dysfunction and all these things. What are the signs, or what are the things that you're seeing with our society that are causing others to just take this thing for granted and just do whatever they want to do? And a lot of it has to do with technology. A lot of it has to do with the way a person feels about themselves, the value they put upon themselves. They have made themselves into a sexual object. They continue to perpetuate that it should be this way. And they have lost track with what is reality and how real things should really be when it comes to love and physical attraction and, of course, sexual attraction. So many a times we are faced with this dilemma, especially the younger persons. We are faced with, what am I supposed to be doing? Am I supposed to be just existing in the world, having children, or impregnating someone, moving on from pillar to post, don't put down any roots, don't develop any family values or family life, and at the end of it, have you connected to your spiritual self? Have you tried to think that there is a physical self and a spiritual self? Now, we all make mistakes in life, We all do things as we are growing up. We enjoy our lives. There are persons who may have drank a lot when they were younger because it was the in thing to do, or that's what made them feel good. But then they came to the realization that, hey, this is not good. This is not what I'm supposed to be doing for a better me. And they stop. There are persons who will overeat, they're gluttonous. And then all of a sudden they say, wait, my health going on the line here. I got to watch what I'm eating, how much I'm eating, and my consumption. And they stop. So now it is for financial reason. They can't afford to feed themselves, because to maintain that size, you have to feed yourself. And they change. So why can't we change our way of thinking, especially with the younger ladies in our society, who think it is... Now, you can have sexual pleasure without getting pregnant, And this is where the foolishness comes in. There are so many things to prevent you from becoming pregnant. So many things that can prevent that. And yet still, we choose the path of taking a chance and end up getting pregnant. And it's all about taking a chance, you know. I know some men would tell a woman, you know, it feels better without the condom. Fine. And then they'll tell her, don't worry, I go pull out. But do you know, for any time you enter a vagina, your penis is throbbing. There's something called ejaculatory fluids or pre-cum that can get somebody pregnant. Recently, I had a client who came to me and she was abused as a child. And she got pregnant and she was still a virgin. Because the person used to rub their penis on her vagina. And ejaculate, of course. And that's how she became pregnant. But yet still, with all the precaution that have out there and all the information that we share with the public, we give them information freely and we tell them to think. You think. Stop for a minute and think. Don't try to think at the moment. The moment you're going to have sexual intercourse, you don't have time to think anymore. All you studied is the pleasure associated with it and what I need to do. And that's basic human nature because you're at the moment. But after that moment is when you start to think and when you start to worry and say, oh my God, what did I do? I wonder if I'm pregnant. And 2-3 days. No. Think about the economic cost of it. And I always tell people this. Even the ladies out there, walk with your own condom. Walk with a pack of condom. A pack of condom is not going to cost you more than $25. And you have 3 to use. When you do something foolish, you have to do 3 and 4 pregnancy tests before you go to the doctor. So you go into the pharmacy to buy pregnancy tests, the packet to test yourself. That's a cost. Then you're worried. You may not sleep at night. You're tossing and turning. You're studying how you're going to tell your parents or your grandparents or your aunt or whoever it is you're living with.
Or even your spouse.
Or your spouse. Or your boyfriend.
Yeah.
No, that's another serious thing. Because you take a chance. How am I going to tell this person that I'm pregnant? How would my family look at me? I have younger sisters. What example am I setting?
That's when you take a chance, right?
You're taking a chance. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, nothing planned.
You're not responsible. Even if you plan to have sex, you could have sex by use a condom. You don't have to have sex. Sex is a pleasurable thing. And in the heat of the moment, you will do foolish things. But if you pre-plan in your mind that I am not going to have sex without a condom, I'm not going to allow anybody to ejaculate in me, I'm not going to allow no man to fool me and tell me I go pull out in time and all these things. You pre-plan. It's in your mind. You plan that. And if you turn and tell a guy, well, here what? If you don't have a condom, we're having sex. You see how fast you'll find a condom,
Yes.
You will see how fast he will find a condom if he wants to have sex with you. You say, oh, yeah, remember, wait, I have one, yeah. I forget I had that day, you know. But you have to hold fast to that. You have to say, I am not going to get pregnant. I'm not going to allow myself to get pregnant. So my whole thing is, when I look at society and what's happening with society, and the amount of children that are bringing children into the world, in this small society of ours, it places a burden on the family, on the person, the family, the extended family, friends. How many of you out there know a young lady who got pregnant and she comes to you for money to buy the tests, go see the doctor, or get an abortion? How many of you out there? And I'm sure every single individual out there who are hearing my voice could tell you, I know of someone who came to me for that. Because it is the norm to fall back on somebody else. And when you bring that child into society, there's a burden on society now to take care of that child. Because you can't. It's difficult for you to do that. So here you are with a burden, and you're placing that burden on the country. And somebody has to take responsibility and say, yes, well, here what? We will do this. Well, of course, that is where humanitarian behavior comes in. love comes in, love for humanity. You wouldn't say, no, let's reject that and let that child starve to death. You wouldn't say that. Nobody would say that. Nobody in their right mind would say that. So you'll say, okay, let's help out here. Let's do something. Let's see what could be done. But that burden on the state should never be in the first place if you only had a pack of condom. So that's why on reflection, when you think about 56 years of being an independent nation, a nation that has had independence for 56 years, what have we accomplished? We have accomplished a lot.
Yes, sir.
What have we done? We have done a lot. Where have we reached? We have reached very far. But at the same time, there are those who don't care about this nation. There are those who don't care about this country one bit. And they may think that I care for my country. You know, I was hearing on this same radio station for the last month and a half an advertisement for a reggae concert for Carnival, for Independence.
Are you really going down that road?
I'm going down that road, of course. I'm going down that road.
Yeah.
And those promoters should be, in another country, they would have laid them against a wall and shoot them.
I have a problem with that.
I have a serious problem with that, and I don't care who
Yes,
vexed.
I put that adjective there. A serious problem.
I have a serious problem with anyone.
And it's not the first time.
No, it's not the first time, but I see it come and it got cancelled, and I say, thank God for that.
But it's God, the earthquake.
Well, they blame the earthquake, but it's not true. But you can't do that. That is what I'm talking about, patriotism. I remember when we had our 25th anniversary, there was a calypso competition. That quotation I made here, 25 years have gone, how do you feel? Funny sang that. He came second.
I do.
He came second with that tune. And that was the best tune, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
That was the best one. You're asking the nation, how do you feel?
Yeah.
How do you feel about yourself? How do you feel about your nation?
Now, that was 25 years old as an Independence Day.
Yeah,
You're 56 now.
right.
Still asking the question.
Still asking the question, 31 years down the line.
Hardly would get an answer.
No. You won't get a
Some people will answer that. if whatever they are doing, have them on top of the game and they enjoying the sport.
But that again, it comes back to what I was saying at the very beginning of the program. Do you love your humanity? Do you love your country, or do you love the material things?
Yeah.
So if you say that, oh, because I am well off, I love independence, or I love my country, then you're not patriotic.
So true. But have a lot of people like that.
I know.
We are.
I am not discounting that. You think I'm just pushing that aside and I'm burying my head in the sand and saying that it's not so? I'm not doing that.
The way we think alone about each other.
That's the point.
I always say once you're born on this piece of earth, you shouldn't be living. So we should be living together just for the mere fact of being.
Well, but that is what we not inculcating that in our young ones. Well, the old ones, some of them don't have it, because they're the ones who littering. I hate to see littering.
That bothers me too.
And I'm wondering if the Piaco Regional Corporation ever passes through Page Road, not Page Main Road, Page Road in St. Augustine, and see there's a heap of rubbish there, garbage bags, packed up on the side of the road for the last month. And we have garbage collectors that pass through there, and they're getting paid to pick up the garbage. And because it's a heap of garbage on the side of the road, they will not pick it up. But they're getting paid for that. So that driver is unpatriotic. The loaders are unpatriotic. The person who has the contract is unpatriotic. They're nasty. In my book, they're nasty. They're all nasty, because that is what you're being paid to do. Carmody Road, the same thing. Rubbish all over the road. Because the vagrants, they come there, they bust open the garbage bag and they spread everything all over the place. But that, when we talk about patriotism, it is not flying the red, white, and black alone. It is about how you keep your society, how you keep your street, how you deal with individuals, All these things are part of being patriotic. I travel the world. And when I meet a Trini anywhere in the world, anywhere I meet a Trini is a difference. I will make sure I spend enough time chatting with that person. I remember going to a resort in Las Vegas. And this was that big hotel, what it's called again? The Waldorf Astoria. That is a big hotel, but they have a special resort far away in the desert. And the evening I was taking a walk, and I heard steel pan, and I stopped and I listened, and of course I gravitate towards it. And there was this guy playing steel pan, and I was like, yes, my instrument, my country. Now some people say, how that is your instrument and your country? I know your culture. I say, Trini culture is my culture. That is part of Trini culture. That is who I am. And after the guy finished playing, we had a nice little chat and thing. And he's a Trinidadian living there for many years. And he does that as a little sideline. And he gives them a little history, tell them about where it come from, what the instrument is called. You know, Americans like to say steel drum. Yeah. It's not drum, it's steel pan. Give them the correct pronunciation and whatnot. And that's what I like. But the point I'm making is that no matter where I am in the world, I'm a Trini first. You may watch me and see a different, you might just, because two days ago I was in Tampa, 2 or 3 days ago, and I went to this place to buy something for a niece of mine. And the lady who is assisting me, after I bought the item, and she said, you know, I look at you and I see Indian. But when you open that mouth and I hear that Trini accent, and she's a white woman, an American white, but she knew Trini accent. She said, when you open your mouth and I hear that Trini accent, I know you're from Trinidad. And I felt good. I felt good hearing that. So that's what I talk about, and that's what I try to inculcate in individuals. That is what I try to drive into people's head. Even when I do my lectures and whatnot, I bring all these little things into focus so that you leave not only feeling good about sex education, but you leave feeling good about yourself, about who you are, that identity with being a Trinidadian. Trinidadian is not only jump and wine. No. That is part of our culture. Sometimes when somebody uses that is our culture, they say, no, that is part of our culture. Our culture is diversified, it's wide, it incorporates many different aspects of things. There's a serious side of our culture. Just recently I had a client come to me, and I like to talk with my clients because I learn a lot. And the gentleman was telling me that he works in this industry. I'm not going to say what it is because some people might identify with it. And the product that they make, he said it's the best in the world. So I looked at him. I say, wait, stop right there, stop. You're confusing me. We have to import the raw material for this product, right? We don't have the raw material in Trinidad. He said, yeah, we don't have the raw material in Trinidad. I say, and we create a product out of that raw material. And what do we do with it? He said, we have to send it back to the parent company because we produce the best in the world here in little TNT. I say, you serious? He said, yes. That product we produce here using raw material from outside is the best in the world. And they use that product in the parent companies elsewhere. They have to send it back there. So I ask him, why? I say, don't they have other places that does that? He says, we have it here. He said, we have it here. What we have here gives us the best product coming out there. They go elsewhere to train people. Or they will send, the company has plants all over the world. And they will send people to Trinidad to train. So look at that. Doesn't that make you proud?
Of course. Of course.
So we, as individuals, have a part to play. It doesn't matter, you know. It don't matter if you're picking up the garbage, if you're cutting the side of the road, if you work for the state, meaning a public servant, have your own business, washing a car, babysitting. It doesn't matter, you know. What matters is that you do a good job, you know.
Of course.
That is what matters.
Yeah,
I always remember my godfather telling me, you know, he said, work is worshiping. You see all this prayers and whatnot that you go to. See, that is part of glorifying the Lord. He says, see your work, give it 100%, you know, because that is the worship.
I believe that.
I remember once I took him to a prayer meeting, what we call a Ramaiya, and I dropped him off. So I sat waiting for him, and he called me. He said, come. I said, don't you have to go to your office? I said, the office running. He said, no. Go to the office, do what you have to do, see your clients, and I'll wait here until you come back. I was like, wow. I really wanted to go to the office, but I didn't want to tell him that.
Yeah.
And I was like, he understands me. And he understands that value that he placed in me wasn't only just words. Because it could have been just words. He would have said, well, you have to sit down there and wait on me until I'm ready to go home. But he said, no, I will wait here on you. So all these little things that happens, I take it into consideration and I say, well, wow. This is what makes me. This is what molds me. This is what makes me who I am. And I wonder how many individuals out there think like that.
So true. I'm very passionate about a lot of things for my country.
Yeah. Anything that represents my country, I'm very passionate about it. Anybody who flies the red, white, and black in whatever sphere, once you're out there, I remember, you know, the late Michael Hercules. We were doing a uniform to go to Paris. And we were competing in Paris. And we had to make the uniform. And we had to put a Trinidad flag on it because we all insisted that there must be a Trinidad flag on the uniform. And he objected to it. And I looked at him and I said, well, why? You know, he's the commissioner of prison. Why? He said, because of where you all want to put it. I said, don't put my flag there. And he didn't say the flag, he said my flag. And everybody rocked back. We had to compromise and change the position. Because we didn't think anything about where it was situated. But that's what he was looking at. Say, don't put my flag there at all. Put it in a place of prominence. And of course, the designer changed it up. We got what we wanted, what he wanted, and what we wanted. And the representation was there. But the passion at which it was said, and how it was said, how it was put across, it stopped being the flag, you know. It became my flag. So when you hear somebody say that, that's why I tell you, when I see that red, white, and black flying anywhere, that is my flag.
Of course.
That's how I see it.
Yeah.
And that's why I ask the young persons in our society, start thinking along those lines. And that will empower you, you know. Because most of these young ladies who go out there and have sexual intercourse, get pregnant and whatnot, they have very little self-esteem, you know. They might be cocksure about themselves and behave in a particular way, but they do not have it in them. They don't have that strength to stand up for what is right. Kyle, how are you? Take a break?
Yes, we take a break and come right back. Hey, everything must sell. Enjoy discounts up to 80% off brand new goods with the latest variety of ready-made garments, handicraft footwear, jewelry, religious items, toys, and many more. You're talking Indian Style Expo.
This is Power 102, empowering you. On Monday, 7 September 2015, Trinidad and Tobago elected Dr. Keith Rowley as this country's 7th Prime Minister, and so commenced Dr. Rowley's administration. 3 years in office have seen many accomplishments and many challenges. Join Power 102 all week from Monday 3rd September to Friday 7th September as we examine the Dr. Keith Rowley administration at the 3-year milestone. What have been the accomplishments? What have been the challenges? And what does the future hold? Power 102 presents
The business.
Keith Rowley's administration at 3 in focus. Joining us are government ministers Robert LaHunt, Rohan Sinanam, Stuart Young, Tom Lindbergh, political analyst Dr. Vishnu Raghunath, Dr. Winfred James, Dr. Roger
12.
Hussain, and from the opposition, Dr. Otawari, Khadija Amin, Dr. David Lee, Anita Haynes, Prakash Ramadan, Dr. Keith Rowley's administration at 3.
Little boys I said to look after.
Only on News
tell them
Power
about the
102 FM and Power
I don't business that part of the I
102FM.com.
am them.
Right. Guiding them.
Yeah. I do that all the time. I watch from this mother show there's with orientation in school. Coming in uniform to children. I think I read this. Look at you. I said, yeah. The big man thing now. You're secondary school now. Straight up now. He have a different father, his brother have a different father. 4, 5 boys. 5 different fathers.
Working with giveaways, competitions, and great music.
I don't know.
This Friday, Weekend Pass goes to Roundhouse Bar, Tabakeet Road, Williamsville. So get ready. The Weekend Pass. Every Friday from 7 to 9 p.m. We're in your area and on Power 102. The Weekend Pass is sponsored by Karen Radler.
Munchkins ice cream, Munchkins ice cream. No wonder tasty creamy treat. Munchkins ice cream, Munchkins go.
Well, that's good.
Yeah. Making money.
It's best when we in a line with me and with you. Come on, Munchkins ice cream, Munchkins ice cream. So tasty, so creamy. Munchkins ice cream.
Munchkins, gotta have it today.
On Thursday, 30th August, the PNM is giving you 3 big reasons to celebrate with us. 1. Come join the PNM from 5 p.m. for the historic sub-tourney of the new Balizé House. 2. PNM raffle ticket holders. We're drawing the first 3 winners in the PNM
Good night,
Big
Cindy.
Red 10-car raffle. So get your ticket before the draw. 3. Let's celebrate this proud moment. Bring your crew and your cooler and a party with Helen Goddard and Roots, Explainer, Rishi Singh, Benjai, Oscar B, Ice Sasha, Dev, Super Blue, Ronnie McIntosh, Iowa, and more. Building a future with
What's that?
confidence. Great
No
is
rain.
the PNM.
Who won it us?
I don't know. It didn't start at all.
We just started all.
Yeah. I didn't even touch.
And the big tent opposite Center of Excellence before you is definitely closing on September 2nd. Everything must sell. Get up to 80% off. Brand new goods with the latest variety of
Barbados team going right down. Boy.
Oh, I tell you, right, that man stars, I don't know that. I don't know what's going on with
You'll end up like stars.
Yeah.
The Zooks.
I tell you, boy. Why that? I could think stars 1, 2 games in a row.
You know.
String of games I'm losing.
2 years in a row.
I'm telling you.
Your car is for you to enjoy, and many victims of car theft feel helpless at that dreadful
crazy,
moment. Not
see.
knowing
But Barbados has some good bowlers. And they have a good team, you know.
They have a good team, but I don't know what's going on with them.
But they can't think on the field.
No.
tactical security. They maintain a 100%
Can't think on the field at all. But I don't like Andre Russell attitude at all. Boy. See when he kicked down the stumps last night?
Yeah.
And the commentators, they say nothing about it.
They haven't known what a superhero is. That is tripping it out of the going on with them thing. I didn't like that at all.
Not at all. You can't kick down the stumps.
Why? That's disrespect.
Total.
Cricket is a real gentleman. I play real cricket now. I play for a kind of big club and for so youth kind of thing. You could do that, you're mad.
You're mad. You play.
You will never play again. Wilfred Debbie said he was a big time man. He used to play for Saudi, you know, asphalt and things. End up on the national team. They had a Mongo 50 over game competition was going on. And when they gave an elbow out and the mother started cuss and he started to get on it.
Never
see
again.
a team again. Parky up.
Yeah, that's the end of you.
And streaming live on power102fm.com.
You can be, you are bigger than the game.
At all.
But you're right, is that superhero thing they give him?
Yeah.
They're afraid now to criticize
You
anything.
know, because he might say, I play.
Yeah. Well, don't play.
They'll feel like a crowd pulling thing.
Yeah, but don't play.
Don't play, drop it.
Yeah.
We see. I'm ready for that.
And the Cascadia water slides located at the Cascadia Hotel St. Anne's are open for the Independence holiday tomorrow, Saturday and Sunday from 9 a.m. till 5 p.m. Admission is only $50. Everyone, call us 768-0567 for more details. We're talking sex education with Dr. Raj.
And that's an important part of development, you know. A lot of people may not see that way, but there are foolish things that a lot of people do when it comes to their own sexual education. But one thing we must do is open up the line and allow people to call in and maybe ask questions also. Because, you know, Friday's program is different from a Thursday's program. But a Thursday program, because of the education value of it, and you have a different audience, a somewhat different audience. Because, of course, it's Power 102. And Power 102 has a band of listeners that follows program to program to program.
That's for real.
But it's good when people ask questions also. Because like I say, when they do that, they open up my mind. And then I can talk about different things also. Because sometimes you get a topic in when somebody asks you a question. Because somebody asked me a question earlier. Unfortunately, I can't get it because of the phone that it's on, I'm using that right now to get my Facebook Live. Because for some reason, the other units are not working properly. You know, it's these crazy things that happen. And I don't know why. TSTT and mine explaining, or B-Mobile or whoever it is you are. Why one phone will get it and the other phone won't. I think I just solved the problem. Let me see, I hope. If I solve that problem, I'll get the questions that are being asked. And then we'll have a...
Nice debate.
Then we could switch over. Yes, we could switch over.